let's talk about that one.
Yeah.
Russia seems to have entered Stepovy. Avdiivka is
Yeah.
surrounded. So it seems like the jaws are getting closer and closer and closer. So let's do our speculations.
I heard someone say the jaws of the bear.
Bear, cauldron, peacock, doesn't matter. There's
I
jaws
have a question.
and they are closing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, it wasn't yesterday, but it was the day before. Supposedly the Russians have gotten into the northern part of the coke plant, but I don't know if they're still there. And then I was looking at it, and even if they got there, it looks kind of like it's an area where there's like concrete pads and a lot of overgrowth and maybe some old foundations. So if they didn't move past that, then they probably just got there and left, because there's really nowhere for them to dig in or anything unless there was already positions there. But I mean, the fact that they even got down there means, that's just, it's just a matter of time before that's closing up. I mean, if they can get the coke plant, even part of it, I mean, and a couple of those tall buildings, it's game over for that last road out. I mean, they can already get it now.
Trusted sources. So based on the sources that I always trust and report based on, there is no talk about the coke plant. But they did, even Stepovy, that some people claim that it has been captured by the Russians. It's not. The Russian forces basically entered and left. So so I don't think the Russians are that desperate to go on the offensive to capture the whole of Avdiivka. It still feels like they are still grinding. The senses I get now is that they are trying to make this a Bakhmut the second. They're going to make it a second Bakhmut, and they just want to draw the Ukrainians into Avdiivka and wipe them out. So that seems to be the case at this moment, and I find it really, you can call it disturbing, for the Ukrainian side, that they are using the Leopard tanks a lot more. And I find it very disturbing, because it's like, why are you using your Leopard tanks this much? They're literally using it like on the attacks and defensive, and because once these Leopard tanks are all gone, I'm not sure what they have left to use as tanks. Like, I don't even hear much about the Abram tanks. I know there's a few, I think, in Ukraine, but it's not like a lot. And the best part is the entire story about Leopard 1 has been out of the window. There's no one talking about Leopard 1s. So I'm not sure if Germany is actually still doing something about the Leopard 1s.
I was going to say, I saw some Leopard 1s a long time ago, but I've never seen a single one of them in combat or destroyed or even in a battle. The Challengers, we can only say for sure there's only 2 that have been confirmed as destroyed that I've seen. We don't know what happened to the other 12. I mean, are they hiding them somewhere, or do they get hit in some kind of depot? The M1s, I think there's a good chance they're up around Chernihiv in the Sumy area, hiding out up there, because there's a unit up there that supposedly may be the one that's getting them. I think it's the 4th Armored Brigade separate or something, and it's attached to the Northern Command. But even then, if it's only reported there's a couple of M1s in the country. So, I mean, again, they got to hide them, and that's the problem once all that shit gets in Ukraine, like the M1s. I mean, are they even in here? Because you got to move them around all the time, because if someone sees them.
Wyatt, you talk about Leopard 1.
Like...
What about F-16? Where are they?
They're still talking about the pilot.
It seems like the all ammo for Challengers is destroyed. I just read and posted in open mic, in voice chat, in main lounge, the Sputnik news that there's increased uranium radioactivity over the England because of the detonation of depleted uranium ammunition.
Was that big explosion a few months ago? The huge one that looked like a fucking...
A month ago. Yeah.
And so that might be why you don't see them. Maybe they don't have no ammo for them. Or maybe they got blown up.
That's what I tried to say. Yeah, they blown up all the ammo for Challengers, so that's why they're not showing up. It seems like that's the case. And
They-
another
They don't share
Other-
the tanks that cannot share rounds like Abrams, Leopard, Challenger. They're using
no,
different rounds.
because
I
Challenger
thought
has
there is no
a
NATO
smooth
standard
bore-
for rounds.
Challenger is a different shell.
different type of the ammo.
It's
yeah.
a two-piece It's a two-piece round versus the Leopard and the Abrams use a 120 single piece.
So
But that's
The
Leopard
all-
Leopard and the
Abrams
M1,
can
the
share.
Leopard 2 and the M1 can use the exact same ammo because they have the same gun. The
so
Challenger has that two-piece rifled barrel ammo.
Yeah, that's right.
So
The
the
rest of
British
the
are trying to be extra.
guns, rest of the
Yeah,
guns.
the British
of the
ammo looks
tanks
more
are
like the
smooth.
Russian ammo as far as when it's loaded in there.
Smooth barrel. About Avdiivka, they said that they reached the fence of that chemical plant, but they didn't enter the chemical plant that they reached for, because as soon as they reach the opposite corner, which is not big size area, if the Russians take over, they will have the clear view of the main entrance, entry road to the Avdiivka. But the problem with that is, I just saw a ride through that road, and it's covered with trees. That road is protected by the trees. So even though you can be close to that road that would supply Avdiivka, you wouldn't see much because it's really thick brush around it, and not much visibility to control it by spotters and artillery. So basically, yeah, they will have to clear out the brush with a huge artillery, with MLRS
You have drones.
firing, or
A lot of the thermals might even see through some of that too, and they'll know something's there. Even if they can't see it, they'll see something moving hot, and they'll just start putting artillery on the road.
You have drones, you have satellites. I mean, Russians can direct their artillery even if they can't see it from the ground with their eyes.
I mean, if you think about it, it'll be like
other
Bakhmut in
means
the
to
sense
see it.
that the guys going in or out are going to even if it's just 2 or 3 or 10 guys or 100 guys, they're going to be targeted going in or out. Just like at the end of Bakhmut, when you were watching 2 or 3 guys trying to get out, and they would just attack them with drones or AGS or machine guns and kill them. I mean, it wouldn't matter if it was a single guy or 5 guys. So it'll be the same thing there. I mean, at some point that road will be used to go in or out, and you're just going to get hammered constantly. It won't matter if it's. I mean, look at it now. They got so many drones, they can afford to send them after a single guy, or 2 guys, or 4 guys walking down the road, and they can hit them multiple times. They see a leopard, they hit it in the ass, and then they hit it again and again and again until it burns.
they need to use white phosphorus to clear to set the fire of the
or the
Russian
toss.
fire,
They can
and
burn
clear
that shit off with tosses.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll
then you have
burn
visibility.
off everything.
Yeah, it
But
does
yeah, I
seem
mean that
like a
shit
solution, right?
is. If they can catch that corner of that plant and get into some of those tall buildings, like you said, it's really going to be bad. I think personally they're just going to seal off the city and as much as they can, if not totally, and just sit on it for the winter and let those guys rot, knowing that there's no one coming to save them, there's no more supplies, and there's no way out. Just do it like a Mariupol on them. Just surround it and sit on them. They'll eventually run out.
Have you guys
I mean, there's
heard
no reason to waste the guys on it. You can just starve them out.